Hi, this is Matt with Inmate Search Info. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to find Florida inmates. Florida has almost 100,000 inmates, so it's quite an extensive population that Florida is responsible for. Additionally, there are people out on things like parole or that are on suspended sentences not in the system, and those are all people that Florida allow you to search through their Department of Corrections offender network. Now, Florida does it a little bit differently from some of the other states in that the type of offender can be broken down and is broken down in different types of searches. So it's a little easier to see it than for me to explain. But the basic search, there's kind of this catch-all offender network search that Florida allows for. And again, pretty typical of a lot of the states that we've looked at. Name is, of course, going to be the most powerful or useful or probably known tool for you to be able to use. And they do allow you to kind of filter it out a little bit beyond that. So as with a lot of these states, if you happen to have the Department of Corrections number for the Florida inmate, you can put that in and get the result directly. Assuming that you don't have that, you're going to probably use a name. Now, one thing that Florida lets you do that not every state lets you filter by is to choose whether you want to use the name as an alias or search by that alias or not. And basically, if you are not sure whether the person you're searching for, if their legal name is the name that you know them by, you're going to want to go ahead and tick that search aliases box. If you are not sure, or if you are sure that it is their legal name, then untick that, because if you have a common name, which is a lot of aliases are pretty common names, as we're going to see in a second, like this Michael Smith, you're going to get a lot of results that don't match what you're looking for. They do allow you to choose whether or not you want to see photos or not. Obviously, for some people, that might be traumatizing. So if you don't want to see the photos, you can untick that. Otherwise, if you do, you can leave that ticked. That's the default. You can also only choose to look at offenders that have photos so that, again, if you're trying to identify someone or make sure you have the right person, you'll be able to see that. But I would probably leave it unticked because most of them do have photos. And for those that don't, by process of elimination, you could maybe identify them even if they don't have a photo. One thing Florida does that some other states don't do is that they do let you see a lot of results per page, and they'll give you at least some idea of how many results there are. So it's like, I think we were looking at New York recently, and they had only 4 at a time that they would show you, so you'd have to go through pages and pages. So it is nice that Florida lets you see a bunch of results at once if you're trying to just do your research quickly. So getting back to this sort of multi-pronged search that Florida does, let's go ahead and submit the request. And you'll see that there are actually 4 different types of searches that Florida does. They don't give you all the results together. They let you kind of break it down. So you've got this inmate population search. That's going to be results of people that are incarcerated currently, only people who are incarcerated currently. The inmate release search results are people who have been in the system but are now out, at least not a current resident inmate. The supervised population is for those that maybe have not been imprisoned, but those that are under probation and under kind of other types of supervision. Sex offenders that may be in there under lifetime supervision would be included in that. And then you've got the absconders, fugitives, those that should be in the system but are out and being searched for, presumably. So if we're looking for someone that you are certain is in the inmate system, that's where you're going to want to go to the inmate population. If you're not sure if maybe they're out, you may have to check both of these. So we'll start with the population search results just to see what we get here. And again, I searched for Michael Smith, and you see a lot of these are not Michael Smiths because, if you're going to use an alias, you're probably going to use something pretty bland like Michael Smith. So again, if you are sure that you're looking for a Michael Smith, if you know for sure that's their name, you're going to want to untick the aliases because otherwise you're going to end up with a lot of crazy stuff here. So picking a random one here, obviously on this first page, let's take a look. You get kind of a little bit of a mini demographic, race, sex, and date of birth. So again, that can help you to narrow it down a little bit. They don't give you that date of birth search on the first page, I don't think. Let's double check that. So it would be nice if they did, just to narrow it down a little more. They don't, but at least you can see it here. They won't let you search. They won't let you kind of sort by those categories either. So that makes it a little trickier. But in any case, if you have at least a name to go by, in this case 72, I mean, you can hopefully get what you need without too much trouble. And this is a very common name with a huge population, so it might take some time, but you can do it. Obviously, being able to click on the name of the inmate and being able to see photos is certainly going to help you to be able to identify the person. You get pretty typical information from these inmate sites. You see when they were brought into the system, and you can see where they are currently, as well as information about expected release dates. The list of aliases is where you'll see, we're going to find our Michael Smith in here somewhere. There we go. So this guy's used a lot of different names. So any of those searches that you did, you're going to find this guy, even though his name is something a little more memorable. You see the list of sentences, offenses committed, and past incarceration history as well, which, again, may give you a little more information to go on about the person. This is quite a long list for this particular person. But if you're, again, trying to find them and want to get in touch with them, you do have the option to click on the facility that they're located in, and that will give you some information on contacting them. Further clicks will take you to information on visitation and the kinds of programs that are available in that facility. So going back, let's go back to the release search results. So this is people that have been in the system that are out. So again, we're seeing a bunch of aliases here, people that used this alias. A lot more results here, less people that are currently in the population than out. And we'll just pick a random one here and see. So you can see the release date of the person. Again, I want to reiterate that, as I've done in past videos, that you don't want to use this information for any kind of legal purpose. There are official channels that you can go through to be able to do background checks, but if you can't use this kind of information for employment decisions, you can't use it for credit decisions, and you can't use it for housing decisions. So if you do, you can get yourself in trouble. Make sure that you're using what's called an FCIA approved background check if you're vetting for that kind of thing. So this information, it would be tempting to make decisions based on this information, but you want to be really careful about doing that. And I don't think you should. So again, for this person who is released, you do get some information on what the past crimes were. And again, they've got some disclaimers here as well. So make sure you are careful with how you use this information, and also don't want to use it for harassment, because they probably disclaim against that as well. And again, the same information as you found in the prior inmate population, just the pictures that are going to be there are going to be older pictures based on the last time they were photographed for the system. So keep that in mind if you're looking at someone like that last person we looked at. I think that photo was from 2015. Obviously, a lot changes over the years. And these are people who, again, may not have been actually incarcerated. This is in the list of people who are under probation typically, or suspended sentences, and you can see what they were booked for and how long their supervision is going to be for. So that's pretty much it for Florida. Florida is one of the more extensive inmate search systems that we've seen. But if you would like additional information on other types of offender searches in Florida, as well as step-by-step instructions on what we looked at today, background checks for Florida, please visit our link in the description below, which will also give you the direct link to this Florida inmate search function that Florida offers. Thanks so much for watching.